get this going. Live. It's alive. Good morning, everybody. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 15, 20 minutes. And we could go from there. Okay. So there you have it. What has been happening? What has been going down? Give me the latest scoop here. All this stuff here. All old news here on my desk today. Here's my puppy. Maybe people want to see you. Oh. There she is. And as you can tell, it says she is not a friendly girl. Oh, there you go. Go lay down. Go down. There you go. She's a sweet girl, but she is only sweet to me. Morning, Waylon. Morning, Mr. Bulgy. Hope you've been stretching out and getting ready for next Friday. Do you morning, Josh. Scott, do you planning on coming up with John, or are you coming up separately? Let me know how that's going down. So I can be prepared, whether you need a vessel to drive and or an animal to ride. Let me know that too. Or if you just want to sit at the beer truck and sit there. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Cheers to everybody this morning. Good morning. Morning, Dave from Minnesota. Thanks for texting in today. Well, I like the sound of sitting at the beer truck. Yeah, absolutely. Morning, Eric. I decorated Gray's last name for the weekend. Good. Yeah. A lot of people don't remember that. That Memorial Weekend is more than just, like, for me, brandings and everything else going on, right? Graduations. It's a pretty serious weekend if you really think about it. So good for you. I'd like to go up one of these. Morning, Karen. I would really like to go to the Veterans Cemetery when they have the big services up at the Veterans Cemetery where my dad and mom are both buried. That would be nice to go to that. Yeah, I bet, Eric. I can understand that. Wayne, good morning. Yeah, we had good rain this week. To see Ryan Jacobson's was Thursday. We got rained out on the last bunch of his, but we had an inch 20, inch 30, right in that range here at the ranch. Huge for us. That's huge. 20 hundredths is a lot of rain in this area, but that was a huge one for us. We needed that one. Yeah, I do. I agree with you, Eric. I need to go up it's a terrible excuse to say that you're always finding something else going on. You're always busy, and it's a terrible excuse. And I got to stop using it. It was good. I did go up last weekend to a buddy, a birthday party, surprise birthday party. Who's also has some health issues going on, so that was it was nice. See that sit and talk to Waylon and his wife a little bit, and Dave and the rest of that family. That was good. And Waylon, my wife really likes you guys. She says you raised one of the best kids that she's met in a long time. So, and that's saying a lot coming from my wife. Okay. so good for you guys. Oh, what the hell was I up to here? What time is it? 54. Mr. Mayor, good morning. Are you back from D.C. or what? Are you finally home? Yes. Got myself a summer cold last week. Ooh. Made it back to the big town of Mobridge. How's the fishing? See when Brent's got an open week or a day like that. He's nice sometimes. Not so nice. Well, in our company, he seemed like a nice young gentleman. So good for you. Oh man. My roping yesterday was not at the level that I had thought I was up to. Boy, it's you get humbled by yourself once in a while, which is all right. Which is just fine. Yeah, I gotta finally found the turkeys around our place here. I didn't have anything to turkey hunt with, but legally, all I had was a rifle. Gotta make sure. I can't remember when our turkey season ends. I'm gonna find that out here one of these days. Let's see, North Dakota. Where's your? There it is. Hunting. Is that? I think that's upland game. Turkey hunting information. Closes 5/19. Well, I'm past that, so I missed out on my turkey tag. Okay. Well, there you go. Austin had his first child last night. Did he or his wife have the child? We got to make that straight. Mallory Elizabeth Muth, number 4 granddaughter for Judy and I. Cool. Congratulations, Grandpa Wayne. Hey, Wayne, when are you planning on coming down here this week? Are you going to be in the morning of or the night before? We need to do that. Going to get sleeping arrangements figured out. Oh, man, stations. I finally had my first night of sleep last night in a long time. I've been waking up with this summer cold cough here about 2 o'clock in the morning, coughing for 2 hours straight. And now, last night was the first night I actually got a good night's sleep. Good stuff. All right. Let me see here. Stations, if you're listening at this point, 6:58, 7:58 Central Time. Straight across the board coming up here shortly. On my end, I know there's a little lag on the YouTube side. 6:58 on Mark. So there you go. I'll do it again at 7 o'clock. Let's see if old John Arman's going to pay attention here today. I know he's heading I think he's heading to Canada or someplace like that here. Let's see, hunting up there. John's like the only number that I still remember in my head of all people.
Good morning.
Are you up there north, you hoser?
Hold on, buddy. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Yep, good.
Are you in Canada yet?
No, we're just going up to outside of, we just went through Underwood.
What are you doing?
So we're
bear?
Hunting bear? Bear and fishing. Hunting bear and fishing.
Black bear. Let's see. Dan, brandings.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, today, as soon as I get done here, I'm missing a roundup right now, but They can't start without me because they're branding. I bring the branding pots, and no, they said they're short on ropers. They said make sure your shoulders iced. I'm like, if you're short on ropers and expecting help from me, you're still short on ropers. I had one good day at his brother's place. I don't know, everything clicked, but yesterday things semi-clicked here. So
Yeah, I hear you. Some days are good, some days are bad.
yeah.
Some days you just lay the trap, let them walk into it.
I was told that yesterday that I was too anxious pulling the trap away. I should have waited a little bit more and threw that bait out and fished a little bit more. So station 7:00 on the nose, 8:00 Central Time coming up here on Mark. Dan Brown, listening in Dickinson. Good morning here. Appreciate you here. Wayne Muth is another new grandpa. Austin's first kid born last night.
Congratulations.
The mayor, take a drink of Kentucky Deluxe bourbon or other cheap stuff to burn that cold out of your throat. Okay. You got plenty of I'm stocking up for branding. I'm branding here on next Friday, so I'm pretty well stocked up in the bar. Brian Warner, good morning. Thanks for tuning in here this morning too. So how you been, John? How's the family?
Everything's good. Just a little behind with everything. Been broke down on the tractor. Only got a couple fields planted right now, so when I get back, I'm gonna have to hit her hard.
Yeah.
Shelby came back this weekend. Of course, she comes back when I leave.
Well,
So
yeah. She's not bear hunting with you?
No, she's not.
Who's all going with you?
I got my brother and his son, and then a friend of mine, Mike, and his son.
Okay.
So two kids are going to be hunting, and then myself.
Good. Jay Berg headed north to help the D-Gens brand. Got you tuned in for the drive on YouTube. Thanks, man. Good morning entertainment. I hope it is. I hope so. I got a plot for us to go through today, John. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
The challenges you face in hunting.
Okay.
Whether it's health or physical, finding a place, financial, not having somebody to show you how to get going, having time to do it, dealing with laws and game regulations.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things. So, this was brought up. We had our annual grazing meeting on this past week here, and there's some stuff going on in the Forest Service land that people need to pay attention to.
Well, there's always something going on in the government.
Did you know that the Badlands Conservation Alliance, have you ever heard of them?
No.
Have you ever heard of the Buffalo Commons, otherwise known as the American Prairie Reserve, or also known as the American Prairie in Montana?
I've heard of that. Yep.
Where they buy everything up, close it down, don't even let hunting in. They don't let grazing. They just let it go back to, in their mind, to the wild. You realize they're trying to do that to 2 giant tracts of land here south of the interstate?
Really?
And nobody knows about this except the Forest Service and Scott. It's a bad thing. And right now, in the next 2 years, if nobody speaks up, the Badlands Conservation Alliance is going to close down all access trails, everything, biking, hiking, everything on Bullion Butte and the Strum-Hansen Common. And I know that doesn't mean a whole lot to anybody that's probably listening, but if you've ever hunted this area, you know that's a big chunk.
So they're trying to come in and buy it?
Not necessarily buying it, but they're working with pretty closely to close all access, and that means hunting too.
I just don't see how that's possible. But
yeah, Wayne says that must be the same as the American Prairie. It's absolutely the same thing. It's just called the Badlands Conservation Alliance here in the state in North Dakota. So, where do we get to speak our opinion on this? Keeping it open. I will let you know. Public comment will be coming up. I will trust me, keep listening here. I will tell you. I'll let you know. Okay. Now, that the public access is different than private land access. Just let you know on that, Josh. So a lot of people are going to probably be pissy at me because there's a lot of private land where you need to cross, and the Forest Service has those on the maps. But in a big lawsuit, Forest Service does not have any easements crossing private land. So you're going to see some of that happening. But I'm talking these chunks that they're looking at closing down right now. We're talking tens of thousands of acres in one chunk. And that's what this Prairie Reserve wants to close up. They want to keep that. So we'll talk about that as it continues on here. I'll let you guys know what's going on about that. 60 seconds of showtime, station, 60 seconds. Because I nominated myself to be on the committee that goes to these meetings. So I don't have much time in my life right now, but that one is important to me. So I'm going to go and be part of that. Which I don't think they're going to be too excited about me reporting on that on a daily basis. What do you do? All right, John, 30 seconds to showtime. I'm going to go turn you down here and stations. 20 seconds to showtime. 20 seconds on mark. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard live and local all across the Dakota Territory on stations like K-Fire 550, Bismarck, Mandan, KCJB up in Minot 910, KLTC over in the Western Edge in Dickinson, KOLY, the heart of Lake Gawahi right there in Mobridge, and KGFX, the capital city, Pierre, South Dakota. Thanks for tuning in this morning on another beautiful Saturday morning. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit more chipper because we got like an inch 20 of rain here a couple days ago. And that's huge for the area that I like. 20 hundredths is big for where I live. So the pastures I think the hay season is too late, but our pasture sure needed that. So good to have you along here on another beautiful Saturday morning. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV joins me while he's on the road headed to Canada going bear hunting. And that means something different in the urban areas now, John, but in our area, it still means you're hunting the animal bear. Are you there, John?
But I'm here.
There you are. Did you get that different type of bear hunting and you live in a big city?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We were meeting up north of town when you were talking about this. So we're sitting there, and this car pulls up next to us, and there's these three gals in there, probably in their 20s or 30s, pretty good-looking girls, and they're like, "Hey, where are you guys going?" I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "We're going to Canada. What are you doing up there?" I'm like, "Fishing and bear hunting." And I was waiting for them to jump all over me. And they're like, "Huh. That's pretty cool." She goes, "It's kind of dope." She goes, "I've always wanted a bear rug." She goes, "But I just don't want to kill one."
Yeah, well, good. At least they're I mean, they weren't against you or throwing red paint on your vehicles or anything like that.
No, it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I wasn't sure what they were doing.
Yeah. No, that's all right. That's all right. So see, you still got fans in their 20s, young gals. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's because I had a young man with me there. I think they were after him.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. What do they say about free press or no? There's no such thing as bad press or whatever they say. Yeah,
exactly.
So bear hunting in Canada. What part of Canada are you headed to?
We're going up in northern Manitoba. It's about 11 hours straight north up to Kississing Lake.
Getting through the border with hunting equipment, how does that go?
It all depends. I was telling these guys, I said, I've been held up at the border for 6 hours before, but that was early in our career because it was more about work permits and filming. But I get an invite from the tourism, And as long as you're not taking any firearms across, we got bows, so they just ask you a few questions, and it's pretty smooth sailing.
So the firearms are the tough one to get across, huh?
Well, rifles and shotguns are fine. You just got to fill out the form beforehand, and it usually doesn't take too long. But you can't take handguns or anything like that across.
Yeah. So no sidearm when you're bear hunting.
No.
Really? Okay. Tree stands, blinds. How are you planning on going about the bear hunting here?
Well, the two kids, I got my brother, like I said, his son are going to be hunting. They'll be sitting in the tree stand, and then Mike and his son Camden will be sitting in the tree stand, and I'm sitting on the ground.
Nice.
Because I'm self-filming, so I'm hoping not to get eaten because I won't, like I said, no handgun. I had to take my guns out of the truck.
Yep.
And if the guide has a shotgun, I may take it. But most of the time, bears, they're more afraid of you than they are you are of them. So as long as you make your presence known, if they get too close, you just talk to them, and they usually just turn and walk away.
Do you think that's a different species of bear? Like you're going after black bear, right?
Correct.
Do you think grizzly bear is different on that? Because I was just looking at some of the Cowboy State Daily website here, and all of the massive amounts of grizzly bear attacks that's happening in Wyoming right now, especially coming out of hibernation, And I mean, there's been a lot of attacks right now, and they're saying that bear spray is not working anymore on these grizzly bears. So, what do you even carry any of that bear spray with you, or do you think it's changed? Black bear different than grizzlies?
No, and you can't take pepper spray across the border.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's considered I think a weapon or something like that. So, the grizzly bears I just think are more aggressive. You're different terrain. I don't know how many of those are sows. The black bears we've hunted on the ground before, and they're very curious, and they'll come up because their eyesight isn't great. But we've had them come like nose to nose with you, and you just, like I said, it gets a little bit exciting. And I think honestly, I think more people are killed by black bears than grizzly bears just because of the population of black bears is spread across the country more with people.
Yeah.
And then I just learned something today. I had no idea that black bears kill more elk calves and moose calves and deer fawns than wolves or anything. They're devastating on the population.
Wow. And I've heard rumors in the northeast parts of North Dakota that black bears have been sighted and are moving in from the Montana side. What have you heard?
Yeah, I was talking to, I want to say Corey Hyde up. He's up in the Botno area, and they said they have black bears up there.
Okay.
And and I've heard that, like I said, the grizzly bears are eventually going to be moving into western North Dakota.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. They have now found a population of them in the forest down by Ekalaka, Montana, that a resident population. And whatever that means, I don't know what population means, whether it's 2 or 3 or whatever, or 30. But that's pretty close knocking on my back door here, John.
It is. And then we hunt down in that area. So I'll have to talk to that rancher to see if he's had any experience, because again, I can't imagine that the grizzly bears mix with the cattle very well when you're calving.
Yeah. Oh, they mix very well. I think they'd love to be part of that calving season. So, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. So black bear, you said more people are, but you very rarely see anything on black bear attacks like you do grizzly bear. I mean, almost you see articles on grizzlies all over the place. Very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen an article of a black bear attacking.
Yeah, I want to say it was in Yellowstone. There was someone killed a few years back. I'll have to research that. I might be outdated on it, but I just think that at the time when I remember hearing it, it's because of the habitat intermingles with the humans more.
Yeah.
Because you got black bears in Pennsylvania, you got them in New York, you got them all over.
I suppose you get more of those urban areas that are sprawling out into the woods, making suburbs. I can see that happening now.
Yeah.
How big is a big black bear in Canada? Because Canada's always known. I mean, it seems like their whitetail are bigger, body wise. Their mule deer are bigger body wise. Are the black bears bigger in Canada than like northern Minnesota?
It all depends. A guy would think so. With Canada, a lot of the bigger bears are closer to more in the farm country because of the oats
Sure.
and the crops. They feed on that. You get up in the bush, they're not going to be quite as big, but there's bears that are guys have shot him at 400 pounds, 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But you're looking at, I would say the average bear that gets shot is probably around 250 pounds. And I think most people don't know how to judge a bear.
Yeah. Well, hold that thought. We're going to talk about judging it when we come back from our break here. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV headed to Canada going hunting bear. We'll be back right after these messages.
Hi, this is Ben Rain from the Home Agency. We are living in some of the wildest weather and commodity markets in the history of the U.S., and there are federally subsidized programs to help you manage these risks. On 3 June at 5:30 p.m., we'll be hosting a meeting in Bowman, North Dakota at the Sweetwater Country Club to teach you how to use the pasture, range, and forage and livestock risk protection policies in your operation. We will show you how we look at rainfall intervals and indexes and discuss the cattle markets. Also presenting will be Dr. Jennifer Young, the senior ruminant nutritionist from Ralco, discussing livestock nutrition. If you're interested in attending, you must RSVP with JC at 1-800-245-4241 as seating is limited. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'm Dale Falke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of auction sales coming up Wednesday, May 29th is the South Dakota Summer 2024 Equipment Auction out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Thursday, May 30th is the Blend Estate Auction out of New Salem. Tuesday, June 4th is an online-only auction of 140 acres in Kidder County. And June 4th also features 469 acres for sale in Adams County. For these sales plus many more and to bid with confidence, go to Pfeifers.com today. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
Hi, this is Ben Rain from the Home Agency. We are living in some of the wildest weather and commodity markets in the history of the U.S., and there are federally subsidized programs to help you manage these risks. On 3 June at 5:30 p.m., we'll be hosting a meeting in Bowman, North Dakota at the Sweetwater Country Club to teach you how to use the pasture, range, and forage and livestock risk protection policies in your operation. We will show you how we look at rainfall intervals and indexes and discuss the cattle markets. Also presenting will be Dr. Jennifer Young, the senior ruminant nutritionist from Ralco discussing livestock nutrition. If you're interested in attending, you must RSVP with JC at 1-800-245-4241 as seating is limited. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you along here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Saturday edition, that is. You can listen to my daily show Monday through Friday on all of these stations. Thank you so much for continuing on, nearly 2 decades strong here, as we continue talking with John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. He's in the pickup, heading his way north to Canada, going bear hunting. Now, we were talking about difference of bears. Yeah, I want to get to a text message right away here, John, that came in right when we were going to break here. It says the black bear population in northern Minnesota is being hurt by the wolves, and wolf population is getting bigger and bigger. This comes from one of my listeners, Dave, out of Minnesota, every Saturday morning. And yeah, the wolves are going to be the next big issue that we're going to be facing around the upper Midwest here.
Yeah. Don't understand it. Like I said, shoot them, have a season on them, keep them under control.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, but you can't fight the environmental groups when it comes to the amount of money they have to say, no, don't shoot them. Well, I mean, honestly, we can't even shoot a feral pig right now. So, I mean, that's not legal either. But anyway, we'll get to that sometime later. Tell us how to score a bear.
How to score a bear. Well,
How do you judge the size? I mean, I know I think it's a 50-gallon drum that you have there or something, don't you?
Yeah, when they score a bear, you're going by skull size. They take 2 measurements. They go across from nose to back, side to side, and you get a score of like, I want to say Pope and Young is 19 or 18, somewhere in there. You know, you get a 20-inch skull. That's a big bear. You know, grizzly bears you're looking at in the 23 to 24s, I guess. You know, someone can correct. I'm not a big grizzly guy, but for us, what you're looking at is, again, like I said, I would say the average bear is around 250 pounds. That's shot, which isn't a bad bear. It's a good bear. If you're going to make a rug out of it, you know, it's a nice size. And, you know, if you want to shoot a big bear, what I'm looking for is you eat a lot of tag soup because they're not easy to get. And, you know, like I said, they got the 50-gallon drum. If their back is at the top of it, it's a big bear. And if you have to guess whether it's a big bear or not, it's usually not a big bear. I've shot one big bear in my career, and when it came in, it was like a Volkswagen. So I knew it was a big bear. There was no hesitation. But I've had other bears, and I'm like, is it a good one? Is it a bad? You know, they're all good, but they're just not huge.
Yeah.
You know, and then they talk about if you could put your cowboy hat or your ball cap between their ears. A big bear will have his ears off at the side, where a younger bear will have straight up ears, you know, more, you know, bigger ears.
Okay.
But they're tough. There's no question. Even telling a boar from a sow, you know, you look at their shoulders. The boar should have big shoulders. Kind of walks like you know, just kind of struts in. And female, a sow, is going to have a pear-shaped body where they're bigger in the back end and skinnier up front. But like I said, it's not always easy to tell.
So when you go hunting, do you have to specifically pick a boar or a sow, or can you take anything?
You can take anything. You just don't shoot. You know, you don't want to shoot sow with cubs, and I think a lot of the places it's illegal too.
Okay.
But we try to shoot boars if we can. That doesn't always happen. You know, I've shot a sow before, and you know, I thought it was a boar. but it was old. It was like a 14-year-old sow.
Yeah.
They called her the hell bitch, and she was apparently had an attitude a mile long, and so that guide was kind of happy that I shot her.
Good. So are you working with a guide, or do they let you go out on your own?
No, in Canada you have to have a guide. We go up with a gentleman that he's the outfitter or the guide, and he lets us help out and do things with him. So that's nice. We get to go check baits and all that kind of stuff because I love doing that. But you got to follow the rules where you go.
So what kind of bait do you use?
Preferably it would be nice to use donuts, peanuts, Skittles. I mean, you can use anything you want, but a lot of these places where you go, it's basically grease and a lot of oats because the bears are coming out of hibernation. They like the grease. They love oats. So a lot of times they're filling these 50-gallon drums up with oats and grease. You pour a lot of grease around the base of the bait so that they track it out and the other ones find it, follow it in. And you usually just have little holes, not too big in the barrel so that they got to work at it. Because if you got a big hole and they can just scoop it out, well, they're going to clean it out pretty fast.
Yeah. So there's no arguments about baiting, or do you run across some of that in your lifeline there about baiting bear in?
It's one of those deals, I think, that it's acceptable because it'd be pretty tough to kill a bear because of the bush and the amount of cover. So that's one of the best way to bring a bear in and get a good shot. I know guys run dogs. I would rather, like I said, I'd love to go on a spot and stock hunt with a black bear, but I've not been able to do that. And sometimes you can do that, these logging roads that we're on, you can sneak down those, and sometimes you'll see them in the evening, but it's not easy to do.
Yeah. So the area you're going into, it sounds like it's pretty heavily covered with trees.
It is. It's deep forest. You got a lot of I want to say aspen trees, a lot of pine trees, and a lot of swamp. It's just cool country. A lot of rocks. The lake we're on has got big rocks, big beautiful, like I said, cliffs along some of these areas, and it's just a whole different atmosphere up there. The smell, the sound. That's why I love going up to Canada. Being in the bush is something special.
So I hope you're going to an area that's not on wildfire right now. I know Canada's got a lot of forest that's on fire at this point. I don't think you're in that spot, but it might be pretty darn close to you.
Yeah, we're going right through it because I was in contact with our gentleman 2 weeks ago when the fires were going, and they got lucky and they had rain come through this last week ago and put all their fires out.
Good.
So it wasn't 20 some miles from their place.
I wonder if that pushed a lot of more bear into the area you're going to be hunting.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, you have to understand. I mean, wildfires, that's what they do. They push every animal out of that area.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my buddies said, we'll just be shooting bears with a little less hair on them.
Yeah, singed off just a little bit, huh? They got haircuts on them. So what, do you ever eat do you use it for the meat? Yeah,
I always feel bad. Like the way Canada does in most places, they consider it, you can throw it away. And a lot of the guides won't save it unless you ask them to. And I like to bring back at least a quarter, hind quarter of the meat, just because I'm killing an animal and I like to use what I can. And bear meat is not bad. It wigs people out because of the trichinosis. It's like pork. You have to cook it.
Right.
You got to get to, I think, 170, 175 to kill it off. So, like I said, you just can't eat it rare.
I heard it tastes a lot like pork too.
Yeah, like I said, I just remember Jason making roast down at the ranch, and you couldn't tell. It was good.
Yeah. I think I wild game feeds, I always seek out the bear, and bear sausage. I've had that. I've had a bear stew. I've never had the roast yet, but you definitely mix it in with a lot of other things too. So, yeah. Well, good luck to you. I hope it goes well here. And a question for you coming up next hour. We're going to be talking about fixed or mechanical broadheads. What are you using to take going after bear here?
I'm going to use a mechanical. NAP's got a new one out, and like I said, bears are they're not super thick hided. And again, I got friends that kill elk with their mechanicals and never had a problem with them. So
Right.
it's kind of what you prefer. This has like a 2.5-inch cut. It's a stainless steel. So I'm going to be using that broadhead.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be asking you starting out the second half of the program about mechanical versus fixed for my tag this year, my elk tag. So I'm looking at taking it with a bow, and hopefully you got some advice for that. But we'll have more with John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV coming up your way here in the second half of the program. He's headed to Canada shooting bear. We're also going to be talking about challenges of hunting, some of the big ones, and we'll go through that coming up on the second half as well. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition will continue after these messages.
Hi, this is Ben Rain from the Home Agency. We are living in some of the wildest weather and commodity markets in the history of the U.S., and there are federally subsidized programs to help you manage these risks. On 3 June at 5:30 p.m., we'll be hosting a meeting in Bowman, North Dakota at the Sweetwater Country Club to teach you how to use the pasture rangeland and forage and livestock risk protection policies in your operation. We will show you how we look at rainfall intervals and indexes and discuss the cattle markets. Also presenting will be Dr. Jennifer Young, the senior ruminant nutritionist from Ralco, discussing livestock nutrition. If you're interested in attending, you must RSVP with JC at 1-800-245-4241 as seating is limited. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of auction sales coming up Wednesday, May 29th is the South Dakota Summer 2024 Equipment Auction out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Thursday, May 30th is the Blend Estate Auction out of New Salem. Tuesday, June 4th is an online-only auction of 140 acres in Kidder County. And June 4th also features 469 acres for sale in Adams County. For these sales, plus many more, and to bid with confidence, go to Pfeifers.com today. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
Hi, this is Ben Rain from the Home Agency. We are living in some of the wildest weather and commodity markets in the history of the U.S., and there are federally subsidized programs to help you manage these risks. On 3 June at 5:30 p.m., we'll be hosting a meeting in Bowman, North Dakota at the Sweetwater Country Club to teach you how to use the pasture, rangeland, and forage and livestock risk protection policies in your operation. We will show you how we look at rainfall intervals and indexes and discuss the cattle markets. Also presenting will be Dr. Jennifer Young, the senior ruminant nutritionist from Ralco, discussing livestock nutrition. If you're interested in attending, you must RSVP with JC at 1-800-245-4241, as seating is limited. We look forward to seeing you there.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors all across the Dakota Territory. Glad to be part of your Saturday morning. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Had a nice little uptick of subscribers here over the last couple months, and appreciate that very much. John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest. Headed to Canada, get some bear hunting done. And you know, one of the things we're talking about with broadheads, and I've always stuck with the fixed broadhead because I had some issues with mechanicals over the years, and I just went with something that's tried and proven. But maybe they've changed the mechanicals over the years. I don't know. I've always had problems with that little rubber band like breaking off while I was spotting stalking all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what have they fixed that issue? What's the changes now?
Well, there's several different broadheads, and some of them still use the O-ring or the rubber band, but a lot of them don't. And like you said, spotting and stalking, it's not advisable to use one with a rubber band on.
Yeah.
Because you are going to hit it, you are going to catch it. But a lot of the broadheads have like tension, so it's pretty hard to knock them out of whack. And again, I think one of the reasons they've gone to mechanicals is guys can shoot them with a semi-tuned bow. You know, you don't have to have a great, your bow doesn't have to be perfectly tuned, where when you shoot a fixed blade, you have to have things, you know, on the up and up. Otherwise, you could get erratic, you know, some bad flight. So a lot of guys, like I said, it solved a lot of the problems, but it's created some other problems too,
right.
You know?
Right.
And I shoot both. I like them both. I would probably shoot a fixed blade on an elk just because I like, you know, something that I don't have to worry about. And if I hit that opposite shoulder, it stays in them and it grinds away at them.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. You see a lot of people use fixed blades for the bigger game animals. Well, let's talk about something, the challenges of hunting. I was discussing this with a few people over the week, and I said, what's the biggest thing that challenges a person getting out and get more hunting done? And I went on so here's a list, and I'm going to ask you out of this list, what's the biggest one here? Is it health or physical condition, finding a place to hunt? Is it financial, not having a mentor to show you how to do things, not having enough time, or dealing with laws and game regulations? Out of that list, John, what would you say is the biggest one for you? And then what would be the biggest that you feel that other people may have a challenge?
For me right now, you know, I don't feel like I have any challenges. I mean, I'm blessed. I've got property. I know a lot of people. I'm in pretty good shape. I keep myself in shape. The time would be, I have enough time to hunt, but I could always use more time.
Right.
So if I had to pick one, I guess I would say.
And out of the 200 people that answered this survey, having enough time was like 85% of the people said
Yep.
that same thing, having enough time. But
Yep.
when you're looking at elk, let's pick elk hunting, all right? Whether in North or South Dakota, you're going to be in some badlands or some steep country. And if you're going to Montana or Wyoming, you're going to be in some big country out there. Your health and physical condition, one of the answers was, as a 60-year-old guy, it's harder and harder for me to pack out an elk. And I can definitely see that. But what a great place to bring in a younger person to mentor them and get them involved in hunting is to take them with you, right?
Yep. I mean, it is. It's, we all face challenges. We're not spring chickens anymore. It may take you 5 loads instead of 3 loads.
Right.
I'm one of those guys. I'm too stubborn. There's no place that I wouldn't shoot an elk in. I would just might take me forever to get it out, but I haven't shot enough elk to say I'm not going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully you have some friends that you have on speed dial that would come and help you. Or, and again, going out by yourself in the mountains, I would say take someone with you, because it's like I said, if something happens to you out there, there's not a lot of guys that are going to rescue you or even find you. So it's nice to have someone along on some of those trips.
How about finding a place to hunt? Some people are using that as kind of an excuse once in a while. And I can see that if, they're trying to get on a lot of private property, which honestly around North and South Dakota, most of it's private property. Montana, you have a little bit of different options out that way, and Wyoming. But what's the best way to find a place to hunt?
Well, I think nowadays, if a guy would just take on average, one of the biggest things that have declined is access to hunting. In North Dakota, I've seen the changes. We still have good landowners, and what people don't realize is that 90% of all deer in this country are shot on private land. So there's a lot of nice people. And I think you just have to do your homework, and you can't wait till the beginning of the season. Build the relationships. I was just talking to a gentleman now. He was doing his other job out in western North Dakota, and that's how he made relationships. Just made small talk, and pretty soon they're inviting him to hunt their land. Yeah. So I think sometimes you just got to open up that door and not be afraid to open it. And it may get closed on you, but that's, you don't win every game you play.
Well, and I don't think you should maybe not show up the day of opening day of the season too. I mean, that might have a little bit to do with it too.
It is. And like I said, once you build that relationship, if you can help those people, again, most of the ranchers that I know probably aren't going to say, come out and fix my fence. Just you offering makes them feel good.
Hey, bring out a couple rolls of barbed wire and some, and that goes a long ways too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So we've kind of gotten away from that stuff.
So third on the list is financial condition. Gas prices are high, and they're probably not going to go down anytime soon. Well, I mean, they've been over $3 for so long. I don't think they're going to come down anytime soon, right? No. Is that really kind of one of the things? I mean, you're looking at financially. I mean, everybody wants to go and get the best clothing, and that's not cheap anymore. I mean, Sitka gear is not cheap by any means. And I know there's other brands you can buy, but people have these issues. They got to wear what the person on TV is wearing, right, John? I mean, what you got to do, and then you got to make sure that you have the right rifle or archery equipment. And if you're going to do that, that's not cheap anymore. And you jump into a vehicle, and you got to be able to either process your own game, or you got to take it somewhere else to get processed. And you look at what we have in on one deer, and game cameras and checking game cameras, and if you're still able to use bait or put bait out or not, it can get expensive.
It is, and I think it's like a lot of things. It's all what you want to do. It's like you can go hunting and not spend a whole lot of money. There's a lot of times I jump in my little car to save on fuel, or gas. Again, you want to buy $1,000 gun with $1,000 scope, or you want to buy a $300 gun with a $500 scope.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like I said, it's all what you want. And most of the stuff is what comes down to is what we want and not what we need to hunt the animal.
Well, and also you could look at it another way, and I don't know. My wife calls this sometimes. She says you got to think about it and use girl math on this, Scott. She's like, we save money by not buying this, so we have that much more money to spend on this. So I don't agree with her on that a whole lot of times, but if you don't go to the bars every night, you might have that extra money to put into a healthy way of doing something like hunting.
Absolutely. It's all
activity.
priorities.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of people go out to dinner every night. My wife and I don't. And I don't do a lot. I save my money. I started, this show to make money so I could go hunting. So again, I always tell people when people say they can't find a place to hunt, it's too expensive. Well, then quit. Like I said, if you don't want to put the time and effort into it and you want to whine about it, then maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be mean about it, but it's just like you got to make choices in life. And I love to hunt, and so that's the choice I make.
Yeah. Another one on the list here is, we said not having enough time. We don't. Dealing with laws and game regulations. Some people are upset with certain game regulations, and I think in the upper Midwest here, especially in the northern border here, we're seeing that with the baiting issue and the CWD issues and all of that going on here. What's your take on some of the game regulations?
Well, I do think that. I think we could maybe look at some of these regulations that we have. I think we get kind of carried away with things. I've talked about it, like tagging requirements. I think it could be simplified.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we could change. I think the Game and Fish overall does a pretty good job, but they have gotten stuck on a few things, and I think that the more we talk to them and the more we bring things up, maybe we can make some changes.
Yeah. One of the regulations, if you're in the North Dakota side, the landowners have the opportunity to post their land electronically. And during our annual grazing meeting, Scott Peterson came down and answered a few questions from the Game and Fish. And just a heads up for private landowners that are using the electronic side on the Game and Fish, only covers you legally for somebody hunting on your property. It does not. So when you say it's no hunting, it does not say no trespassing. So if you post your land electronically as a private landowner, it only covers hunting. It doesn't cover bird watching or hiking or biking or anything else. So you still have to pay. You still have to put signs out on your property because the Game and Fish site only covers hunting, and that's how Scott Peterson explained it.
Well, it'd be nice to go to, like I said, like South Dakota, Wyoming, and it's just straight up no trespassing.
Yeah. I agree. It would be a lot easier that way, wouldn't it? Jesse says how about digital range finding sights on archery equipment? Yeah. Why can't we use that? We can use one in our hand, but we can't have it on our bow. I don't get that.
Yeah. I don't know why we have some of those regulations. I think they just are afraid of how far we're going to go. But again, you're trying to make an ethical shot.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get a good range on it. So I'm not sure on that one, why they choose that.
No. Here's one that come up too is not being able to use certain guns and ammunition that you want to hunt with. And that's a big one in some areas in different states. You have to use copper. You can't use lead anymore. And the same thing, pheasant hunting. There's certain regulations in certain areas of different parts of the country here too that you have to use specific ammo, and that ammo is not cheap by any means.
No, I think you're right, just because of the lead. And I guess, I don't know enough about lead, but, when you think of the amount of shots and birds pick it up and fishing and all, I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure it can go down a lot of rabbit holes with that.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know. I have a hard time thinking that the birds are going to be picking up lead and I don't know.
We ate lead paint on our windows, so we're fine.
Oh yeah, we're just fine, aren't we? Yeah. So But yeah, time seems to be the one that most everybody has the shortest amount of. And just like anything else, I think you need to make time for it, right? I mean, you got to set. This one article said the best way to do it is if you want to go hunting, treat it like a vacation. Block it off on your calendar and just do it. And that's what you're going to do that day.
Yeah. And it's like when people say it's expensive or you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. Well, everything we do in life, we have to pay for.
Yeah.
Whatever hobby you have, it costs money. And like I say, I probably shoot a $10,000 deer every year for the fact of between food plots and farming and all that stuff. But I love doing it. I'm not doing it to kill the animal. If I had to just go out and kill an animal and that's all I got out of it. And I didn't get to do any of the food plot stuff, and I didn't get to do any of that stuff. It'd be tough.
But you're doing it more for the health of your herd and growing bigger deer. I mean, that's what you want to do. And it's only going to help the neighbors too, which, I mean, it's not like you have a high fence up or nothing.
No, it's exactly, that's it. It's like when what I do helps everybody, and what my neighbor does helps or hurts me,
Yeah. Absolutely. I know it's probably a little different out here in the Badlands being able to do any type of food plot situation, but I think there's ways of getting around and doing some of that. I think, I don't know, probably the ground isn't the greatest to grow soybeans or corn or anything like that, but it's got to be something that would work.
Well, and again, just the way you guys graze your pastures and things like that helps the wildlife.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference.
Well, a text comes in, says if lead in gut piles kills birds, why isn't there a bunch of dead birds laying around prairie dog towns? Never seen one.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't. You know how the federal government is, and everything that we deal with regulations and EPA. It's just one thing after another.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of the decisions are being made from people that don't hunt and they don't ranch. There's not involved in agriculture, and they just have a very high level of education out of a book, sitting in an office, and that's who's making the decisions for a lot of what's going on, especially when it comes to environmental or any of these whack job groups that are out there too.
A whack job group.
I'm trying to be politically correct. I want to continue on for a few more years here, John. Well, tell us a little bit about the TV show. Where can we find it online for people that, I mean, we got a big listening audience. It's not just around the local area where you live in here. So if they're in Pierce, South Dakota, where can they find a little bit of your television program?
Well, I do upload things to YouTube, so you can find us on YouTube.
Okay.
And we also do a streaming service that's on Roku TV.
Okay.
And you can also find it online at KOTV. It's called Keys Outdoors. The gentleman out of Minnesota started his own streaming service because he got kind of tired with the rules and regulations of YouTube. So he's got quite a few fishing shows on there and hunting shows. And so you can find us on Roku TV with that, or you can find us on online also. So couple different ways, and like I said, this is kind of my off season. I'm going to be working and starting to put shows together, and we'll start back up in October and run through the end of March.
Okay. And how many shows a year do you usually put out there that are brand new?
13 is what I try for, but that doesn't always happen. So sometimes I throw in some repeats or grab things from the past. You never know how things go. Like I said, the Bears cooperate, we could get a couple shows. The Bears cooperate, we get a couple more, but you just never know.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the biggest challenge of doing your television program?
I would have to say just getting everything lined up with the sponsors. The sponsors have been real good, but just in a timely fashion, getting the commercials and making sure that everybody's going to be on board with me next year. Everybody's been pretty good about that, but it seems like everybody waits till a month before, and then it doesn't give you a lot of time if someone decides not to advertise with you anymore. So that side of it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff I can control, except for the animals. But I can always keep going.
The advertising side of it is that it would be so much fun if you and I wouldn't have to worry about that part of it, right?
Oh yeah, like I said, I could be a lot of these TV shows are just independently wealthy guys, and they just put their shows out and pay for it themselves.
Yeah. That's not us. So
No.
when you hear sponsors like on our programs here, that's an important thing. So, and if somebody is listening and they're like, you know what, I want to, maybe I want to sponsor John's program. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I got my information all across the net. You can call me at 701-391-2438, or you can reach me at my email. Pretty easy to find.
Yeah. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Search it online. Find it on many different platforms. Let's see. Holy cow.
There we go.
There we go. You must have switched over
Yeah,
on something.
I did. I started my truck up again. Sorry, buddy.
All right. Well, we're down to the last 30 seconds, my friend. I appreciate you always making time on a Saturday. We wish you the most best of luck here as you head up to Canada. And when you come back, I want to hear some of the slang. I want you to be talking like a true Northern Canadian.
Oh my gosh, you better have a lot of bleeps on there, buddy.
All right, my friend. Have yourself a good trip. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, pal.
You bet. John Arman, Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. You can check that out. Find them online. Search them. You can also find more of my program all across all these radio stations. Have yourself a great Saturday. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool. Have yourself a great weekend. All right, stations. Thank you. Appreciate that. John, again, can't thank you enough, my friend. Yeah. Have yourself a good trip.
Hopefully we can do a follow-up, and it would be some exciting, like I almost got eaten.
Yeah.
Killed a giant bear,
Absolutely.
I always told someone, I said, the best thing about a bear hunt is make you almost pee your pants, and then you still kill a big one.
One of these days, I'd love to go and I'd like to get involved in that.
Yeah.
But,
like I said,
got
to get rid of those cows.
Yeah, that's that. We got to do that. Might be sooner than later. Who knows? The way the prices are right now, I was like, we were sitting there talking. One of my buddies are like, "Geez, guys should just sell the cattle and just summer cattle for other people." But the grazing rules does not allow that to happen in this area.
Really?
But it'd be like taking the whole winter off every winter.
Oh yeah,
man,
absolutely.
That would be something else. So, all right. Well, I better get to this
branding,
my friend.
Take care.
You bet.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, friends, neighbors, and foes on YouTube. Have yourself a good day. Appreciate it. Sorry I'm cutting this a little bit short, but got to get to Jerry's. See ya.